Oh, you know, brand new to me truck. We gotta optimize this thing. On our way to work on a 69L Camino. We're gonna get this thing running today. You're gonna hear some vroom vroom noises. I'm also doing some data logging to the brand new 2012 Avalanche on the way in. And you can see just how bad. This is a factory calibration. That's crap. We're gonna make it a lot better though. All right, so here we are. We're gonna mount fan relays right down here in the inner fender well. I've got to finish wiring in my Holley main power and ground. We've got to figure out somewhere to mount a coil back there, and I'm going to clean up that wiring and tape it up and make it a little bit neater until we get some loom on it. Okay, we are halfway through getting the fans all wired. I have my relay bank mounted there, doing my wires right now for the fans. I'm trying to find where our female side connectors for these are. They're in the shop somewhere. And then the only other thing I've got to integrate into those is the trinary switch that's up there. And then we are good to go to throw some ground on the trigger sides and make sure high and low speed works, because you always double check it. And then I can hook those up to the wires from the Holley. And then we're done for fan wiring. The only other wire I got to do for the AC is the AC trigger load sensing for the Holley, so that it ups the idle a little bit when the AC comes on, but that's underneath the dash. And then where is it? Up here, somewhere up there, somewhere in this general area is my starter wire that I have to run down here and hook into my starter right here too. And then we can crank this thing over, and then we can put the shield on, and then we can get most of this all done. The goal today is to get this done and running so that this truck, car, whatever you want to call it, can go and have the exhaust done, because we need to get the exhaust done, because we need to get this back to the customer. But we're moving right along on it. Okay, trinary switch is wired, fans are all wired. I know it looks like a mess now, but I have to loom everything up. Compressor's wired. I've already tested the fans out. These are what I have for my fan settings. Low speed is on at 195, off at 185. High speed comes on at 205, off at 195. And then anytime my AC gets turned on, high speed will come on automatically. And we should be at warm enough temperatures if you're using your AC for both fans to be on, so it'll be high speed both sides. I am currently trying to figure out where we're going to mount this coil. I'd like to put it on the real estate right back there, but I feel like that's a little too close to my wiring. I don't want to introduce any RFI noise. If anything, I might bury it back in this corner so you don't even see the coil. You'll just see the one wire coming up, which will be this wire to the distributor itself. But starter is all wired up. We already cranked it over, so it turns over. We literally just need to get this coil wired and get that plug wire on it, and we're ready to start. All right, I think we're ready to try to start it. So let's see. I'm not gonna run it for long because we still gotta check a bunch of shit, but I think everything should start. Okay, here we go, take two. We had to adjust all the valves. Lash was way too tight. I didn't do that, but I adjusted them the regular way. Okay, so you saw this is running now finally. Can't let it warm up yet because they're doing stuff next door and we don't want to smoke them out and fume them out. So we're going to take care of all this and get this stuff back installed and looking halfway decent so we can send the car off for exhaust. Alright, we are rough mounted back in here. We're going to do final fit and finish after. And It's got to go to exhaust, but we are all together. All my lights are on and working and everything. I already verified all my gauges work. All my HVAC works. So, that's it for today. There's a lot of crap condensed into a quick amount of time. But right now we got to go work on that 70 El Camino, and I need to do a few things under the dash on that, just clean up some wiring, because Monday that is leaving for Barrett-Jackson Palm Springs. I will make sure as soon as I have all the lot numbers, I'll let you know, because that El Camino, that 86 Ford and that 77 Ford are all going to Barrett-Jackson Palm Beach. So hopefully we can make some money on those. All right, success. So once I realized that pretty much all the rocker arms were down so far that the valves were stuck open, super awesome. I got those all adjusted and lashed right, and this thing, the Holly did its job, fired right up first time, no problem. So that's all good to go. We are ready for the exhaust shop. For the most part, the interior is back together. We've just got to do some small stuff like the venting and stuff, the tubes for the vents for the vintage air. And then the 70 El Camino here, that's getting ready for Barrett-Jackson. We did a few little interior things on this. So we just put all new knobs on everything because that all needed to be cleaned up. And we cleaned up and tied up all the wiring that was underneath here. I don't know why it was the way it was. We didn't build this one. We picked it up and are just going to flip it. But we tied it all up and made it look a hell of a lot neater. And that 86 and that 77 Ford are both going. And then we'll see how everything does. Oh, also the little tiny toy Corvette's going too. I think I showed you this at Ferrari, but I never got around to filming a drive in it. But I did go out for a drive in this thing. It's hilarious. It's got a 3-speed sequential transmission with reverse. It's got a, I believe it's a 80cc 1-cylinder motor. I just put a whole brand new carb on it because the carb was all junked up from sitting. But we're gonna hope we get some decent money for this too. There's a couple of them that have gone for 25 grand, which blows my mind. But if somebody wants to buy a fancy go-kart for 25 grand, go ahead. That's cool with us. But that's all of it. I'm gonna go out and get in the new Avalanche out there and go pick up some Chinese food as per tradition on a Saturday. And eventually we're going to be getting into this GTO, which there is an issue with, from what we are gathering. Let me get this hood open. Oh, that's a heavy all steel hood. There's an issue somewhere within the head gaskets. When it's running up to temperature, you can see it leaking coolant out. So it's got a blown head gasket. So we've got to pull it down, pull it out, break it down, make sure there's no valve issues or anything on these beautiful Edelbrock Performer RPM heads. And if everything looks good and everything checks out for flatness and straightness and all that, we'll put it back together with some new gaskets. And I think we're doing, I believe, Dakota Digitals on this, and then shipping it back to the customer. And the 68 Z28 SS RS, all the alphabets, we are doing not Dakota Digitals in this, but we are doing vintage air. We're doing a modern distributor to get rid of the points. We're not sure if we're going to do HEI yet, or, oh, I can't get this one open with one hand, or a Pertronics conversion kit, but that'll be coming in the future too. And I believe maybe the next time you see me, I'm gonna finally be a homeowner. Finally. It's been over a year. It's been a long time coming, but I'm gonna go celebrate that with some Chinese food now. So I will see you guys next week.